And what were we going to cover in this talk bracket?
You're going to talk about something.
Competitive eating.
That's right. I was going to talk about my JTI, or JTE, sorry.
Which one should we discuss first?
I'll do competitive eating.
Alrighty, competitive eating. Okay, this one would have been on Friday night. I was at my lovely and vivacious girlfriend's place because we had to grab some stuff because she was about to head off to Churchill, as I've said before. Mm-hmm. And we were sitting there in a lounge room, and as we were walking through about to leave, there was a some documentary, I think it was like National Geographic, about competitive eating. You know, there's people that go to competitive eating contests, and it showed them like people training for competitive eating. And the way they train for it is it's all about stretching the stomach.
Yeah.
So what they do is they chug like an enormous amount of water in a very short period of time to the point where it's painful. They leave it to sit for a while, and then they puke to let all the water out. They just repeat that to stretch it out before a competition. And then apparently, I didn't know this, but with the competitions, each round they eat the food, then they go backstage. Then apparently they have to buff it up and then weigh it. And I'm like, okay, let's see if we get this right. If you do that on your own, it's an eating disorder. If you do it with people watching, it's a sport.
I didn't know they had to do the...
That's what I mean. That's what it said on the documentary.
Because I know it's fairly wasteful to begin with, but I thought at least if they ate it and then,
ingested it.
Yeah, it wasn't a complete waste of food, but if they're...
But I like how they were going, fans of competitive eating. Like these competitions, there are all these people in the crowd going, yeah, woo, you can eat a lot, yeah!
Do they have, like, groupies?
That's what I was pondering. How would that say? I love the way you eat waffles. It just turns me on.
I'm not going to say it on air, I'll say it off air, but there's something that popped into my head then. But because if there are, like, fans of...
You were thinking of chewing, maybe that's the connection.
No, like you said, I'll explain off air because it's not something that I could. Anyway, but I'm a fairly hefty guy, so I'm sure I could eat quite a bit, and that would have been a source of female company that I hadn't thought of investigating previously.
You could turn your problem into a benefit.
That's right.
Although apparently most of the people who win these competitions are actually very small people.
Yeah.
But this show guy coming out for a competition, it's just like this regular looking guy, just like a t-shirt coming out. There's all these people like waving signs. What is the lure of watching people eat? Competitive eating. What do these people go like when they want to get their fix? They just go to restaurants and watch people,
or go to an all-you-can-eat buffet and just sort of watch the
just start chanting at people.
Oh no, because when I go to all-you-can-eat buffets with my former flatmate, it was kind of like a competition because he'd want to see how much he could eat as quickly as he could. Yeah. So, yeah, people would probably watch him and stuff. But then he also likes to sabotage other people's food. Like whenever he got up to get if he got up to get a drink, he'd put too much salt on your food or pepper on it, and and he's like a 30-year-old man doing that. So,
hey, some people never lose the child within.
Yes.
But to go on that kind of pseudo-political rant. We've got people starving in all these countries, and yet we have a professional sport that's all about wasting food.
That's what I was thinking when you said they had to bring it back up. But anyway.
Coming up next, professional petrol pumping. We're just going to pump all the petrol, and then they just empty the tank out into the river afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you know what the really funny thing was? Guess what came on directly after a documentary about professional eating?
Super Size Me?
No. Obese at 16. A story of a kid who was 400 pounds at the age of 16 from overeating. And it was his quest to get gastric bypass surgery to lose weight.
Is that like stomach stapling? Or...
it's where they actually bypass the stomach, where you've got the stomach, which is quite a large thing. Basically what they do is they cut it off at a particular point so that the stomach is only about the size of an egg, and then reroute the intestine through that. Basically it just forces you to eat less. And I think he was 400 pounds. In 10 months, he'd gone down to 240. He just lost like a ton of weight.
Yeah.
And of course, the second he loses a ton of weight, it's funny because it shows him like walking through school as like this massive guy. Everyone's kind of walking past him like, whoa, you're a big guy. Then it shows him coming back to school where he's all skinny. And then all of a sudden you see all these girls like, hi, you remember me?
Yes.
And he ends up like, getting the girlfriend. Although there's all through it's got interviews with his friends. And there's one girl, it's like his friend, but you can tell he just really wants her. It's like the quote hot blonde chick. Every guy, every kind of down and out guy has like the hot chick friend.
Yeah.
And they and they do that thing where they think, if I have like deep and meaningful conversations to share my emotions, they'll want to be with me. No, that doesn't happen.
No, you're like the girlfriend who doesn't wear a dress.
Yes. You're what I think is called the DFF, the designated fat friend, where you're just there to expose. You're just there to receive people's problems because they know, hey, your life sucks. You'll be able to help.
Yes. I'm going to go and cry now because I'm just reminiscing all through high school.
Yes, I'm remembering all my. I was never really a fat guy, but I was the DLF, designated loser friend. Well, an app song's coming up next. Actually, 2 app songs. Daniel Bedingfield's Got to Get Through This, and then followed on with Weed's Teenage Dirtbag.
I'm going to go and cry.
Let's go run a cold bath and listen to Nick Cave.
Yes.
On Double X.
That's my line. Well, I stole it from a friend of mine, but still, 1611 Double X.